I'm going to tell you what nobody else is going to tell you in this episode. Brace yourself.
They buried me in the water and I came, I knew. Now I'm baptized in blue. I'm a winner, never quit. I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, never winner, never quit. I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue.
Welcome to the Changing the Culture podcast with your host, me, Autumn Clifford. This is the only self-help podcast hosted by a female cop. I want to welcome you. If you loved that intro, then I want you to go to the end of my podcast and make sure you listen to that music, that tune. It's called Baptized in Blue by One Time Music. He's a fellow police officer. You can find him anywhere you can listen to music. He's amazing. I'm really excited to have you here. I hope that you enjoy this podcast episode as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Here's what's going on, Sheepdog Nation. I'm going to be cutting right through the bullshit today. I want to talk to you about what's going on right now in our nation's country. Our nation's country? Yeah, maybe. I'm going to be talking to you about what's going on for our police officers everywhere. And the reason why is because my inboxes are getting flooded with people who just don't know what to do. We have police officers who do not know what to do anymore. And it's not that the job has ever been easy, because it hasn't, but it is extremely difficult to be in a position that is life and death decision making when you are stressed to the max and you have no reprieve. And you have no reprieve because people are leaving the job in droves. Agencies are offering hiring bonuses like I have never seen before. Okay. Trying to get officers. Agencies cannot find anybody to even want to do this job. We are drastically not withholding the standard like hiring procedures. Like basically it's going down. There's different kinds of people that are getting onto this job. And I gotta be honest, like some of it I don't think is like too bad, because there's some standards that I have been like I've thought are completely ridiculous. The smoking weed one for some agencies is just asinine to me. And there's a bunch of different standards, and every agency is different that really need to get done with. But I want to talk to you, okay? We're going to talk some truth. It's going to be pretty short and sweet, as I don't have a ton to say, but I do think what I have to say is going to be pretty meaningful. I want to warn you, because you very well could get very triggered by the things that I'm going to be saying to you, because it's not, I'm not overly friendly about it. But here it is, okay? You got into this job for a reason. It is now a time for you to sit back and reflect. I want you to sit back and reflect why you got into this job and what has kept you here for thus long, like far. And right now, you can't even sit here and say, well, it's the only thing that I can do. Well, that's a crock of shit. Police officers, some of the most well-qualified, cross-trained, can multitask like a son of a bitch, people out there, okay? We have so many skills that you don't even realize that you have. And when you are a cop, all you think is you could ever be a cop. It's all you know. And so then you stay there. I know, because I've been there and I've done that. I know what it's like to have to get out of police work, okay, and reinvent yourself. Like, I get it. But the thing is that what's important is that you go back and you get clear on why you got into this job. You need to be very, very clear on that. And sometimes it has shifted. You got into it for a certain reason, and then you've stayed for a certain reason, and you need to become very self-aware. Is it time for you to get out of the job? Is it time for you to set the duty belt down, take your boots off, and stop doing this job? I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm asking you, this is a fucking hard question. And it's a hard truth, because we don't need people who don't want to do this job doing the job. We don't need people who are burned out and bitter and hate everybody to do this job. We don't. And I've been there, man. I've had so many compounded like shifts of just being burned out and having meltdowns in my cruiser that nobody knew about, hating my coworkers, hating my administration, hating the job itself, and being like, what in the fuck am I doing? I've been there. And what I'm telling you is that you need to make a change. You need to make a change for yourself. No one's coming to save you. The agency's not going to go, oh, well, Becky looks like she's struggling, so we're going to help her. Your agency's not going to do that. Okay? It is some of the problem with what's going on, but it is not going to happen. So what is going to happen is you will self-implode. If you do not take care of yourself, if you do not ask yourself the hard questions, if you do not take a look in the mirror, you will self-implode. So what am I asking you? Well, I want you to start paying attention to how much you're sleeping. Are you getting any sleep or not? Pay attention. If you're not getting a lot of sleep, you are going to go into some realm of psychosis. There is actual science and data backing that up. You can go back and listen to my episode with Dr. Kevin Gilmartin. He is the author of The Emotional Survival of Law Enforcement. He put in a 20-year career and then became a psychologist and has helped thousands and thousands of police officers to understand themselves. So I interviewed him several episodes back, and he talks about this. Lieutenant Colonel David Grossman. I have 2 episodes on this podcast talking with him about what happens when we do not sleep. But it is a huge problem. And your agency is not going to be looking out for you to get sleep. They're not doing that. They're looking out for them. They're looking for you to fill holes, okay? When you can understand that you are a number for any agency, for any job that isn't a small business, you really are just a number, truthfully. And that's good in some ways. In some ways it's bad for police officers, because we tend to take on our identity ends up becoming, the fact that I'm a cop or I'm a police officer, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the man or I'm the woman because I'm, officer of the year, or I'm officer of the month, or I lead my shift in numbers. I moved up quickly, like I'm untouchable. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. You are not untouchable. You are not necessarily the man or the woman for all the reasons that you think that you are. You're actually the man or the woman because of what you've put into yourself. It's not because of the job, and it's not because of any trophies or any fucking labels that you have. You're either a damn good person and people want to follow you, or you're not. If you want to be the man or the woman, become a leader and become somebody people want to be around. When you can step into that role and you can change lives, and you're changing lives just by people being around you, then you become, you'll become a legend that way. Okay. So many people are out there chasing what's on the outside of them, external validation. And it's going to kill you, because there's going to come a time where you no longer get that, because it's how it goes. I want you to, if you know anybody, if you know any retired police officers, right? Maybe like a lot of you are blue bloods, come from families of blue bloods. I do not. Well, I do actually. My uncle's, he's a retired chief. But anyways, moving on. I want you to sit down and, I'm sorry, I'm yawning in your ear. I'm not editing that out, by the way, because it's real. So I want you to be thinking about like their career and how much they put in to the job. And then I want you to think about what their life is like outside of retirement. Does anybody know who the fuck that person is? Does anybody know what the fuck that person did? Does anybody care about their career? No. The answer is no. Okay? That person might have set beautiful things up, created wonderful programs, all the things. Nobody knows who the fuck did that. We just know we have a program. It's the truth. It's the truth. And I'm not trying to be, listen, I'm really not a negative person. If you're with me for 5 minutes and I'm just spitting facts right now. And it's hard. It's hard to hear. It's hard to accept. If you're still listening to me, then bravo. I'm sure you're angry with me. But it's the truth. It's the truth. I have these conversations with my husband quite a bit because, it's no one's going to tell you guys this shit. No one's gonna, oh, they're gonna build you up and, oh yeah, you're gonna be promoted. That's what they did to me. Oh, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that, you're gonna be promoted, you're doing great, blah, blah, blah. I get injured and then I'm the fucking devil. Somehow, some way, I get injured. It is deemed workers' comp because I was smart. I went and saw my own doctor after the workers' comp doctor told me to go do fucking hot yoga. And then next thing you know, the entire agency wipes their hands of me. But, I was getting set up. I was going in, detectives, getting ready for administration, doing all the things, finishing up my master's. I was the second most educated person in the entire police department. That does not, that includes the chief. The chief was far less educated than me. Okay, because obviously back then it didn't matter. And that particular chief had been a chief for 30 years. It was time for him to go. Whatever. Moving on. What I'm trying to tell you is that I was the woman. I was really good at what I did. Do you know what mattered? Do you want to know what mattered in the end? It's my relationships with the people around me. That's what mattered. Nothing else. The numbers didn't matter. Bullshit promises didn't matter. Anything like that. And I still talk to probably 5 people out of that whole agency. And, I've told you guys before, I've mentioned it, but, it really sucks. It really, really sucks. And so we're working and we're living through some unprecedented times. But the question becomes, are you called or are you not? Are you called to do this job, or is it time to fucking take the uniform off? We become depressed and we become unhappy and miserable when we are no longer living in our soul's purpose. And just because you have done this career for so long, maybe it's a couple years, maybe it's 10 or 15, 20 years or whatever, I don't know. But however long you've been doing this, if you are absolutely fucking miserable, you have options. You just need to take a look at them. Some of you, it makes sense to ride it out until your retirement. For some of you, it does. I'm not saying it doesn't. But if it does, then you need to probably look at what you can do outside the job or even within the job to make yourself happy. So many times as first responders, we're literally putting ourselves last. We are just putting ourselves last. And that is what's causing issues. That's what's causing issues. When you put yourself last, no one else is going to put you first. And then guess what? We go into massive depression, massive anxiety. We get really fucking woe is me, and we go down a real slippery slope because we feel like nobody cares about us. We are in a very hard career. We sign up to take a bullet for the person on your left and the person on your right, but you don't know if they're going to screw you over in the meantime, right? That's literally what we're looking at. We're looking at stress coming from every angle. We're looking at agencies that are not, backing their people. We're looking at politics that are just crushing good police officers. All of this is true, and all of it is also out of our control at the moment. We can only control what we can. We can support, and vote, what we need to do, right? We can vote, we can do all the things that we can to get the right people in the right places. I'm not saying we can't do that. But as far as walking around going, nobody understands me, and they really don't, but who does that even matter? Does it matter? It really fucking doesn't matter, because if you just continue to perpetuate that mindset, then you are going to have a woe is me mindset, and you're going to continue to be Eeyore. Do you want that? No, why? You weren't here to do that. That's not why you started in this job, and you're not here to live a life that way. You're here to live a damn good life. So this is your time. This is your moment. This is your wake-up call that if you are not living the life that you want to be living, I want you to go. I want you to write down in your journal or a notebook, on a piece of paper, or on your fucking computer, or on your phone if you're in your cruiser right now. And why don't you write down what you want your fucking life to be like? And then every single day, you read it. And then you start taking steps to make sure that your life starts going to that. And it's that simple. It is that fucking simple. Do not come at me with any more of the gray bullshit, the excuse bullshit, that train. That is that simple. You can do it. You're choosing not to. I've done it. I've had to have these hard looks in the mirror. I've had to put myself first over and over and over and over and over again. People used to call me selfish, but now Now I fill my cup up so that I can fill others up. That's not that damn selfish anymore, is it? But if your cup is fucking empty, which I guarantee you it is, if your cup is empty, you're not out there filling anybody else's cup up because you got nothing else to give them. You've got to fill your cup up. You've got to put yourself first. You have to understand that there's more to life than this job. And if you are not happy, get a new job. It's a fucking job. I love you. You got this. You can do this. You were not here to blend in. And you were not here to dim your light. And you were not put here to not be happy. You're here to live your best life. I know you can do it. Remember, if you want to see change, we have to be the change.
They buried me in the water and I came, I knew. Ha ha. Now I'm baptized in blue. I'm a winner, never quit. I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, never winner, never quit. I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. They buried me in the water in the Holy Ghost. I came out with a badge and gun and a heart that said never run. I signed up for a job you wouldn't dare to do. This ain't no green screen movie, don't compare the two. We look at your actions in the elements and everything relevant. If they line up, prepare to pay the consequence. You do dirt, you get cussed, no bluff. It's ignorant to think we will shoot with your hands up if you the police. You feel the world is against you, like every call you go to, people trying to tempt you. Well, Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary. I ride on the devil, I ain't scary, and I ain't worried. You want my life, come take it, it's gonna be a fight. I take it to the light, like Will and Bright. I wouldn't expect you to understand what I do, only the thin blue line, cause they baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, I'm a winner, never quit. I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, never winner, never quit. I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I can't explain the pain when I see a name on the wall. All I feel is rage, put me in a cage, let me brawl. Sometimes I can't help but cry, like why did he die? I know it was him, but it could have been I. What about the kids? What about the spouse? Yeah, now who gon' put food inside them babies' mouth? It's a bigger picture when the officer down. Domino effect, Blue Nation, family, country, and town. The media don't cover us. Well, maybe Fox, cause MSNBC and CNN surely don't care about cops. Politicians more concerned about protecting the legal instead of laying the law down and protecting the people. Let me get off my soapbox before I curse. I don't seen way too many cops riding in hearse. Well, I wouldn't expect you to understand what I do, only the thin blue line, cause they baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, I'm a winner, never quit. I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, never winner, never quit. I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. If I'm faced with a mission, I'm gonna complete it. If that means being deleted, I live with the credence. I do this for the combat vets and Leos. When I'm suited, ready to go, it's either friend or foe. Only Lord knows what my future's in store. I only kill with the hope to see more, so God don't close that door. If I take a life, it's him or me, with the hopes to survive, not bigotry. I go in situations that you cannot imagine, deal with things that you cannot fathom. Know it, but so I'd rather fight for cause than live for nothing. So when you read my headstone, you know I died for something. You hypersensitive, she complain by justified force. You blame the cops first, that don't work, you blame the courts. But I wouldn't expect you to understand what I do, only the thin blue line, cause they baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, I'm a winner, never quit. I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, never winner, never quit. I refuse to lose. see, I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue.